Hello, everybody. This is Sylvia from the Fiat-Proof Podcast. And today, my very dear guest is Jacob. He lives in Scotland,
That's right, Edinburgh, Scotland.
cold and rainy. What's it like now?
Yeah, indeed. Um, by this time, April, I'm really like looking forward to sunny days and warm days.
Yeah. I mean, you're originally from Poland, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yes. Your whole family, your wife as well?
Yes, yeah.
How did you get to go to Scotland? How did you end up there?
So we met in London. I lived in London for around 14 years. I was doing freelancing in digital marketing and working as a project manager, then Scrum Master and Agile coach, building software. And my partner, she's a teacher. She was a teacher in London. So we met at one of the charity concerts in Clapham Junction. And we kind of, stick together and then started, being together, started a family. With our first child, I was lucky to be able to work remotely. But when our first child was born, we were kind of stuck in one bedroom flat in London, with me working remotely from home. So that's, that got us to the point where we said like, okay, we actually need more space. And we started looking like, what's available. Because especially during the lockdown, we were overwhelmed and we wanted to be out, to have more space. And we were thinking of like all kinds of options. Like at some point we were actually considering moving to Norway. I don't know why, like it would be even weirdest thing to do. And then at some point, basically, I said like, hey, how about Scotland, And I came over to visit my friend who moved here. And I really liked it. I said like, this is a really nice place for us to be, to be close to nature. We've got the beach not too far. We've got perfect hiking area here. So at that time, there was the right decision to make, and we came here and we kind of nested here for a while. We had our second child here. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a good episode in our life. We really like Edinburgh. For our family, it's been very kind of generous in terms of all the nature that we have around, and some friends as well. So yeah, there are things that we will miss in Edinburgh. Well, we won't miss the weather and we won't miss the food. But I think the connections we made with some people here already, and fair enough, we mostly make friends these days because of our kids. So we're kind of, that's a collateral damage. We've got some friends who are also Polish who live in Edinburgh. We've got some friends who are Chinese who live in Edinburgh. And our kids go together to nursery. So, we kind of hang around together when we can. So that part will be missed. But to be fair, obviously I'm a Bitcoiner, and Scotland is, I mean, UK generally is very Western, mind like has very Western mindset in terms of approach to money. The pound sterling is a fairly strong currency, so the people here don't really have the need to embrace hard money, to embrace Bitcoin. So I've got my kind of group that I built on the basis of my meetups, Bitcoin walks. These are the people who understand Bitcoin. But overall, in the population, it's hard to find people who are Bitcoiners or who or shops or cafes that would accept Bitcoin. So in this sense, everybody here is kind of very complacent with and waiting for the government to say, well, now it is okay to use Bitcoin, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's a little frustrating. I wish this was further down the line, and I wish UK was the hub for innovation and not being very kind of controlled and close-minded about that. But I guess everybody gets their Bitcoin at the price they deserve, so they'll get it later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much a fiat mindset then, if they're waiting for the government to say now you may.
You may. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we decided to opt out of that.
Yeah. I mean, I can really relate to what you said, the people, you'll miss the people because we traveled a lot and I wasn't never really interested in the cities. At some point, I noticed it's not really cities are all the same. Nature is, beautiful, but also wherever you go, the nature is usually beautiful.
Mhm.
And but it's the people who make places special. So when I think of going somewhere, I think about who do I know there, which old friend do I have there, or will make new friendships. And I think that's something I've learned in the last few years, that it's really people who make places nice.
Absolutely.
If I go to
Absolutely.
Germany, I wouldn't live there anymore. I was born and raised there, but it's really just a handful of people that I love to see there. And it's these friendships that we're never in touch, like maybe one message every few months.
Yeah.
But once we're together, it's like we never separated. And that's the beauty about it, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's I can totally relate. But also, on the traveling and meeting people aspect, I'm not sure if you've got the same thing as I do, but to me, kind of connecting with Bitcoiners comes so easy. Like it's so natural. I noticed, for example, I was trying to network in London, and London is specific. It's a big, very fast city, very diverse. But I was trying to meet people, to make friends. I was going to networking events, and those would be the kind of typical London meetup situations where you go to the pub, you have a couple of beers, and you have small talks that never ends, and literally the moment you leave that pub, you forget all those people and you never meet them again, or nothing
Yeah.
happens. There's no follow-up, nothing. So it felt very kind of superficial.
Mhm.
And when I started doing the Bitcoin walk, I met a bunch of different people, and kind of immediately we click because we have this common denominator,
Mhm.
and we can talk about literally anything with the Bitcoin lenses on. And it becomes so natural, and you make friends so easily. Um, so that's really transformational, transformative in this sense, almost therapeutical, because we're social animals, and we need to be surrounding ourselves with people who we can talk with and learn from. Um, so yeah, that was really, really, really cool experience, and I kind of went down the rabbit hole and found my ikigai in what I do, in this kind of going out and talking to people and just preaching Bitcoin pretty much. I mean, it sounds weird, but that's pretty much what it is. We are all working for the Bitcoin marketing department, right?
Yes.
So I'm doing my part and I'm having fun, and I'm helping people get up to speed, learn about Bitcoin. And I noticed that actually what I learned most just by listening other people talk.
Mhm.
And just going there with walking ahead, listening to conversation is actually quite good format to do that, because there's a lot to take with Bitcoin, in terms of everything, in terms of monetary policy, in terms of technology, security. So there's a lot of questions, and I've witnessed a lot of conversations where those questions were asked and people giving answers to the questions, and every time I could actually relate and learn something new. Because another interesting thing is that actually, no matter where, like how advanced we might be in our Bitcoin journey, like everybody's at a different level, and
Mhm.
to everybody, Bitcoin means something different.
Yeah.
And this is the beautiful thing, that you can get those perspectives in. I remember one time we had a guy probably on the age of my dad, who came to Bitcoin Walk, and he spoke very poor English. He was actually from Afghanistan, and it turned that he was a refugee, that with a refugee asylum, and he came to Edinburgh like 2 weeks before, and he was trying to organize his paper to, start being legal to be able to, to work. But he had some family over in Afghanistan, and he heard that the only way to send money to Afghanistan from UK is actually going to be, through this thing called Bitcoin. So he kind of got interested, and well, I could tell he wasn't very IT literate. But at the same time, he was just, kind of lost soul, looking for trying to anchor to something.
Yeah.
And he didn't know, like, how can he make money? How can he function in this society here, with, the skills that he has. So I kind of give him an idea, ask him if he drives. He said he does drive. So why don't you become, Uber driver, or, just delivery guy? And to him, there was like a revelation. He said, like, of course, this is great. Thanks for the idea, So I'm hoping that, if he took that and he managed to convert this into income, then maybe some of that income would end up in Bitcoin, and maybe he can support his family in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that you've done over 100 walks now.
I have, yes.
And we need to maybe go back to square one, because some people don't know what we're talking about. How many hundreds? How many?
Well, now it's like 103 or 4, something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, let's take a step back, and it's a journey. So you're walking, you're taking steps. It all kind of rhymes. Yeah, over 2 years ago, when our second son was born, actually, we're living here as expats, so we don't have much support from extended family, from grandparents. So we had to look after our both kids, and plow through the first months, and that's tough, right? So at some point I said, like, look, honey, I need a little me time, a little time for myself. I know I can't, and I wasn't interested in going to a pub, or that's not my kind of thing, really. But I like walking and I like hiking, so I would just go out, put on my headphones, listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, and of course, all on Bitcoin. So, like, I think it was probably 21 Lessons by Gigi. That's kind of got me, like, way down the rabbit hole. And then there was Jeff Booth, The Price of Tomorrow, and others. Yeah, I said, like, my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I really need to talk to someone about that. Am I going insane? Am I getting too excited for nothing? Like, is there anybody out there who shares those, can understand that, relate to that? And yeah, I just put out an announcement, and I'm guilty as charged. The first 2 walks were called Crypto Walk.
Okay.
But then I kind of did my, started doing some more research. I met some other people, started talking, and again, I landed in the right place, because I'm not sure if you know that, but one of the first forums where Satoshi Nakamoto was actually posting was hosted on a domain called bitcointalk.org. And I have bitcoinwalk.org. So kind of walk the talk does the job, just tells the story. So yeah, it's been like 2 years now. And we've been doing that every single week, every single Saturday. I've managed to build an amazing group of, friends and Bitcoiners from whom I learned tons. So yeah, that's something really great.
Yeah, that's amazing idea. And it's in different countries now, because it's decentralized. Anybody can start a group, Saturday Bitcoin Walk group. I started one here in Madeira. By the way, every Saturday we meet at 3 p.m. at Lido, and then we walk to Praia Formosa. And I love it. It's really nice. Sometimes it's a bit like, okay, I have to talk Bitcoin now, Bitcoin, nothing else. But in general, it's so beautiful. We're just walking along the seafront. The kids are always with us. We haven't had any new people that we don't know, but we just started off 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that's I really like that idea, and it inspired me to do these podcasts where I bring unschooling and Bitcoin together. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about, because you are in the process of signing up to a place to be. Once we're open, people are waiting for
I
that,
am.
and me too. I mean, you told me already once that on one walk, you told somebody about a place to be after the conference where we met, and their reaction, because it goes so well together that
Yeah,
at some point, I think it's impossible that people are not going to start talking about the relation.
absolutely. I have to admit, I was kind of transitioned through the traditional education system from the earliest age to the oldest age that I had. I was fitting within the frame, so I did that, and I did not know any alternative to this. And I didn't imagine that, if I have my children, actually schooling them myself, what if something goes wrong? All those kind of questions were popping to my head, and I had very much fiat mindset in that, where a lot of people in fiat right now trying to embrace Bitcoin. They say, no way, I'm not making this hop. I'm not jumping with my wealth from this system to this new system. And exactly the same thing happened to me just recently in Madeira, actually, when I spoke to Daniel Prince. I spoke to some other guys who are actually homeschooling as well, or unschooling their kids. I spoke to you. I spoke to Alex. We had, it's got me thinking, really, and I figured that the world is spinning so fast these days in terms of technological advancements, and what I'm seeing around in the traditional education system is that they try to improve it, they try to stay up to speed, but it's the same attempt or same tries as the fiat central banking trying to accommodate and to be able to serve society. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can store your kids from 8 till 3 in this institution, or you can let them be. Yeah, having those conversations with just a couple of you guys changed my mind completely. I went like, that makes sense. I'm gonna be bold enough to do that. Like I don't, and another Justin, a friend that I met in Madeira as well, told me that look, there's no more harm that you can do to your kid than the institution wouldn't do.
Exactly.
So, so that was kind of, yeah, okay, that's a good selling point, and we said, yeah, let's do it, and I'm kind of glad that we are in cold Scotland right now, because making the decision is even easier, like say, okay, how about we change to Madeira? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it makes things so much easier. There's nothing I can complain about here on the island, to be honest. I mean, I know I could be happy anywhere, and it's more, as we said, about the people.
Yeah,
So if I build a place to be in, I don't know, even in Germany, let's say, it would still be nice because of the people. But why not live in a sunny place by the ocean,
of
with
course.
nice people? It's I know you can't have it all, but I'm pretty sure you can be happy anywhere. And I know that even if for some very crazy reason a place to be wouldn't happen, we'd continue unschooling, and we'd still be happy because we would meet all these people, outside in the parks. We'd do excursions and we'd travel, but together it makes so much more sense. It's the natural way of living. We
Yeah,
have been trained to accept what society tells us is normal for us, but I don't think it's the healthy way. And yeah, just coming together with families who are very like-minded. I know we won't always agree on everything. It's impossible, and it's not necessary either. But I think, the base, when you are fiat proofing, when you're trying to be a freedom maximalist as much as possible, not just, in education or not just in Bitcoin, but you see that everywhere else in your life, there are things that you need to start questioning. I think once this kind of there's a spark in you, either, you know, an unschooler talking to a Bitcoiner or vice versa, then you just see it everywhere else in your life. Yeah, and that's also what a place to be stands for, that this fully fiat proving, not just in one area of life.
Yeah. Do you know where the moment, like the selling points to me when it happened?
Mhm.
It happened when I actually saw, you know, the stages at Bitcoin Atlantis conference. When I saw the main stage, the development stage, and the kids stage.
Mhm.
And when I went to the kids stage and I saw, you know, I was mind blown realizing that Bitcoin is 15 years old. There's, you know, generation that is native to Bitcoin that was born in block heights, this and that, and they're on that stage are talking now.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh my God, you know, these guys are gonna be so much ahead of their peers in the future that it's
Mhm.
just like that's something I cannot. If I can give it to my kids, I mean, I would feel guilty for my whole life if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like literally giving them, you know, a fresh start into sound money, like, you know, proper ethical approach to energy, to, you know, work, to compensation. Yeah, that's just blow my mind. And I said, like, this is something I need to give to my kids. I mean, it could be the best present I can give to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And if you just replace Bitcoin with unschooling or, you know, another area of life, it's
Yeah.
the same. Why put them through this system that is, oh my God, so damaging, and then they will have to undo all this damage for years.
Yes,
It would be so
100%.
much more advanced, because for me, it's like they'll be like deeply fulfilled people because they're not being pushed away, you know, into 8, 10 hours a day into other people's cares. They will be following their interests, that they build their own self-confidence from almost day one, or from when you start unschooling. Why put kids through misery, you
I
know?
think I think you know, we are well, for most of the people, I think, you know, school is literally a storage for the kids so they can stay there while people go to work. And it's unfortunate that, you know, it works this way, but I guess from, you know, Bitcoiners' perspective, if we realize that, okay, there is, you know, there is an alternative, and it's almost like, you know, getting used to the fact that your banking is not for free. Like when you make a transaction, there's a gas fee you have to pay. It's literally the same kind of, you know, shift in the sense that, yeah, there is a trade-off, but the cost benefit of that is much higher than, you know, just letting your kids stay for a number of hours in some place.
Yeah,
So yeah, agree.
yeah, totally. Just you need to question. And that reminds me of one moment when my mom, she used to, or she works as a caretaker for older people. And there was
Mhm.
this one lady, I used to look after her sometimes when my mom was on holiday. And she was the sweetest lady. I liked her a lot. That was in Germany. And she had a lot of issues, physical issues. She was back then, I think, in her 80s, late 80s. And I took her to the doctor, and she had to take all these pills, like for the heart and for the cholesterol and for so many different things. So I went to accompany to the doctors, and she said, I don't want to take these pills anymore. Can you talk to the doctor? And I asked the doctor, why does she need to take them? Like, because she has all these side effects, just really horrible for her.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, yeah, because at a certain age, we prescribe these to every single person. So if it's like when they turn 60, they start saying, okay, now you should look after your heart and take these pills. Now you also need to take something for the cholesterol. You
Mm.
need something for the side effects of these pills. And then they get like 10 pills a day. And I just asked her, like, but why? Like, if she has
Yeah.
nothing, have you done tests? Is there anything wrong with her heart? And she said,
Mhm.
no, but at a certain age, blah, blah, blah. She was just repeating what
Yes.
she had
Yes.
learned at university. And like, that made me realize, that whatever these people learn, they just, they're like little robots repeating what they've been programmed into, that they never question. How can you prescribe some human beings some shit that gives them tons of side effects without them needing this and ruining their health? Like, how can you do that? How can you sleep at night? Is it like, was she aware of this? Was she doing it like for the money? The more she prescribes, the more money she gets? Or was she just not questioning? I mean, I'm not, enlightened. I don't know all the answers, and
No, but you're
I
you're
make
striking
mistakes.
a very sensitive topic here, which is the medicine today and the all the approach to modern medicine. I think medicine and the achievements in medicines are amazing. We've managed to extend our life expectancy by twofold in a matter of 200 years. But at the same time, there is a lobby behind that doesn't want to cure people. They want to keep curing people, curing the patients, but the patient must remain the patient.
Mhm.
I actually spent 3 years working for the Ministry of Health in Poland. I had an episode where I kind of dived into politics because of supporting someone from my local town back in Poland, and then ended up being the head of her cabinet when she was the Minister of Health. And I saw how this works. I saw how the big pharma operates. And then later, when I went to London and I was working in digital agencies doing different sort of things, I noticed a certain pattern. I was contracting there, so I would have a 6-month contract here, 1-year contract there. I was changing my workplace quite a lot, and I noticed one pattern that in the sort of biggest advertising agencies, they usually have one or two kind of cash cow projects that they don't really do anything creative for. They just do usual, email marketing or social media campaigns, whatever. But these are the biggest checks. They pay the most. And these companies, these cash cows, usually fall in one of three categories: fuel, pharma, finance. So basically, those three sectors are always present somewhere, and they make those agencies, go around, close the budget here, and every other client that they have is, just addition and let's get some more money, let's make something cool. But the majority, the lion's share of their income is always from those big players who just gotta keep on spending their budget, and they need to spend their budget, their fat marketing budgets, because if they don't spend that, somebody from the marketing team will get a smaller budget next year. So it kind of has to be inflated.
Yeah.
And to do that, they come up with all sorts of craziest ideas. And there is no boundaries to ethics, to morality, like how far can we push it, Should we make a conference for 300 doctors from, that specialize in cardiology and tell them about this one medicine? Should we do it in Hawaii? Should we fly them over and just, maybe they will like our product and start prescribing it? Where is the line?
Yeah.
So that kind of kept, my parents are doctors, so both of them, and my family kind of is, extended, is also medical stuff. So I've been very close to medicine all my life, and I've always questioned those things. And I see, okay, the system is broken. I don't know how Bitcoin can fix that yet, but there is something to be done here for sure.
I'm sure there's something, again, like once you have learned something, you realize something, you cannot stop but look somewhere else. And
Yeah.
Bitcoin has a lot of solutions for the problems in our society, and I'm sure there's something
I
that
think coming back to like relation between medicine and Bitcoin, just the idea of open sourcing things would be massive in terms of getting anybody to be able to produce something, whether it's equipment or a drug. That would be already a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I have a big bias because my parents, they were never into medication, all natural. Like I've never been vaccinated. My parents, I think maybe one, the very first one, and then they said, no, we're not going to do that. And then it was all just, remedies at home, then homeopathy, and just look after yourself and eat healthily and stuff.
Mhm.
So my dad was very extreme, like he hates doctors, like every doctor there is. He's extremely, like, people will call him an extreme conspiracy theorist, and which I don't think is a bad thing, but for him sometimes it gets so far that he is blinded by his beliefs that everything that's medication, all the doctors, all the pharmaceutical
Yeah,
people, everything is just bad for him. He cannot see that it does save
there are
lives.
some benefits. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, there are a lot of benefits. And it doesn't mean that you have to just comply and say, okay, I'll take this pill. Okay, I take this shot. Okay, I do what you tell me to. But it's, yeah, in this age, we can do our own research, studies you can read on YouTube. You can sign up to online courses. You can do your own tests. You can go to the lab and get your bloods drawn and do a before and after. There's just so much we can do ourselves. And with
Mhm.
everything. And again, education, it's the same. Like if people are worried that they don't have enough resources for their kids, or they won't know how to teach them something because they don't know, but nobody knows everything. Not even the teachers at school know
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, we need new systems. That's another point. We cannot change the systems. We just need new ones, and yeah,
And
create.
they're happening, they're evolving.
Yeah.
You're um, building something that is going to help transition that. And I'm sure there'll be cases that describe your use case and your case study
Mhm.
of place to be. I think there'll be more and more initiatives. And what I love about the idea is the fact that I think I met Mohammed by the stands when we
Mhm.
were having a chat, and it's like, yeah, you meet someone from like completely different part of the world, and all of a sudden you click, and within 5 seconds, yes, yeah, yeah, we're good mates now. We're like, yeah, of
Yes.
course, and so I'd love to go for a coffee with you, and we can relate. So that's beautiful. And again, I'm coming back to the idea of networking and just hanging around with people like that, who bring something completely new to your life.
Mhm.
That's priceless. That's super valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. And I'm consider myself a people's person. I like to bring people together. And for example, yesterday we had a meeting with the whole team, a place to be team, the founding members, and they were all there, and one family was here with us, but I would have loved to have them all around here, in one place, not do the camera thing. I'm
Yeah.
trying to go away more and more from screens. And if I didn't have a place to be, I wouldn't have a website, I wouldn't have social media. I'd be just, with the kids and with friends all day.
Yeah.
But it's necessary. Right now it's necessary. Well, I'm building a place to be. I have to use, technology and screens and all that, and it's
Mhm.
fine. But once it's been established, I'm going to take a big step back and really just enjoy being with people and building things with my hands and doing things together. That's
Absolutely. And I think you're gonna have a lot of support from from your crowd as well.
Mhm.
Because I don't think, I mean, I can't imagine a single family that will only that want to come to be in the place, a place to be, as a resident or guest. Like I feel like this is something I want to be a part of, and
Mhm.
I want to contribute to your idea. um just literally like value for value, like I think if I
Mhm.
didn't believe in that, same with Bitcoin, if I didn't believe in in the future build on Bitcoin, I wouldn't be supporting, I wouldn't be so vocal about that. So I think a lot of people would have similar approach to this, and I think your task is to orchestrate that and to find that potential and make it happen. Make people do things where they're good at it.
Yeah.
uh, I think that's a great thing, and I can totally see in the future where a place to be can franchise to other continents and places like that. That's absolutely possible.
Yeah, I think so too. It seems inevitable. because it's something that everybody needs, even though they're not aware of it yet.
Absolutely,
There are more
absolutely.
people approaching me and asking, but yeah, can I pick your brain about unschooling and how do your children learn and where do they go to? And yeah, they're complete beginners. And I mean, you just at the conference, what, 6 weeks ago, 5.5 weeks ago, you started off to
Yeah,
get in touch with the unschooling realm.
yeah, yeah. That
Where are
was
you
my crossing the chasm moment, where I said
now?
like, actually, that might work, you know.
How old are you kids?
5 and 3.
Okay, so not even in school, just a kindergarten, nursery.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you at right now? Is there anything like you're worried or you have lots of questions or you're
No, no, we've got
yeah.
we've got our wall in the kitchen that's already has, like 6 months ahead
Uh-huh.
written down with all the tasks that need to happen when. And we've got a couple of family weddings during the summer, so we need to go back to Poland. So thinking about accommodating for that. But we're already making kind of moves and preparing, to the point where in September the family will come to Madeira.
Awesome.
Yeah. I will
Great.
be there a month earlier, so I will probably pick your brains also on, like property market and maybe ask some questions. I'm sure you'll be able to help me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be renting out places at a place to be. Maybe not in September, but
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pop in around August, so I can.
yeah.
I mean, I was thinking, is that a good month to come to Madeira in terms of like season? Would you
It's
say?
yeah, it's not too hot here. It's beautiful.
Okay.
More tourists, but it's fine. You don't
And regarding property markets in August, does that make a difference?
long term, maybe not. Short term, it'll be you should book something in advance.
Okay, that's a good
But
point.
they're also building so many, it's just everywhere. They're building more and more.
Okay,
So more space.
amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, to have you guys over. It's nice. Most of the people I know through camera, many I've also met in person. But it feels still it's building, it's building, it's building, and then one day we'll launch and everybody will be on land
Yeah.
together. Yeah, it's just
Amazing.
such a
Well,
long
I think that before we meet in person, we should probably start getting to know each other in some, I don't know, group or Telegram or something. I don't know, but I'm already kind of curious to meet those people and see like who my kids will be playing with. That'd be amazing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we will set something up.
Fantastic, Sylvia. So speaking of the project, I know that I think on the banner that I saw during the conference, you guys said you were targeting to have 21 families.
In the beginning, just
Uh-huh.
for opening up, just for me to able to manage things because it's
I
the
think
first
that's already a lot. And may I ask roughly like where you're at? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of interest, and I know that there are people who are just even asking if they can sponsor or contribute to the idea. But is there
yeah, no, we have
something
15 families who are just waiting for us to launch,
amazing?
to open up, and then lots of other people on the email list who are just receiving the newsletter. And to be honest, I've been emailing more now, like 4 or 5 times a week.
I saw that.
And
Yeah, of
I have more unsubscribes, but that's a good thing. I really
course.
just want the
Yeah.
people who love this and see this as I do, as a lifestyle, not
Yes.
like a place they come
Yeah.
have some holiday. We want a real close tribe.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Amen. Amen.
Awesome. So what do you imagine happening at a place to be? I know you've been here, you've seen Madeira a bit, you've gotten to know a few of our, founding members and other people involved.
Mhm.
Is there anything going on in your head that you would, imagine happening or doing?
Well, I know you said there was a plan for you guys to install some containers to buy some containers and maybe
Mhm.
transition them into like co-working space and some facilities like entry-level facilities to kick it off. So I was thinking that with the work I do, actually I can spend probably couple of hours online. So as long as I have access to the internet, I could be on
Mhm.
site and just watching the kids play, or helping with stuff that we'll be building there. So
Yeah.
that's my kind of idea. I'm kind of, I've been working behind the desk for too long, and I want to do some DIY stuff. Like I really want to, get into the habit, get out in the nature, solve some problems. Like
Yes.
the simple things. I've been missing that a lot.
I have the same thing going on. It feels like there's something in me wanting to come out. I want to do something with my hands, build
Yeah,
and be out in nature, and like all this time from probably 0 to my early 20s was just so um damaging. I don't find another word, a better word for this, that the school, the whole school time, and not being able to just play and do what I want. Like
yeah,
from 0 to 7, I was very free ranged, raised free ranged in a free ranged way. But still, my parents, they got their baggage from their generations before.
of course.
Um, but that's something I'm looking forward to, seeing what are the adults are going to be doing there. What are we going to be? What was something that you did as a kid that you stopped doing because of school, or because, somebody said that's not important, or that won't lead you anywhere?
Something I did as a kid. Um, in terms of nature, like being out there, I always loved trekking. Always loved hiking, and it was weird to me to come to Madeira, and see that actually they're offering like walking tours, because I haven't seen those before, and Madeira is just specifically great for walking. So I said like, okay, actually organizing, some sort of activities around that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if, foraging activities, going into forests and looking
Yeah.
for stuff. I'll be totally up for it. I've got another good friend who's coming to Madeira in September as well for something called Trans Madeira, which is like a mountain biking event that basically takes you across all the islands. And he sent me some, promotional video of basically crazy guys riding mountain bikes in Madeira. And I said, this is cool. I like that. I'm probably too old to be that extreme, but I loved, riding a bike in the forests back in Poland. So I would probably, get back to that, and I'd love my kids to do it as well. So these are the things that the simple things that I'd love to come back to doing. I'd love to come back to fishing. I haven't been fishing for ages, and this
Mhm.
is something I did as a kid.
I know it's
Um,
coming out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, now it's coming out. So that's again something that I'd love to do, and I'd love to teach my kids how to do that. Um, yeah, those kind of things. Mhm.
Oh yeah, so that's nice. Yeah, to the listeners, what are you imagining? What are you wanting to go back to? What you used to do as a kid? Think about that. Anything is possible. I think it's very important to do the work on yourself, not just start doing what you used to do, but I think the more you free yourself, you take off all these layers of programming, then this innate love of whatever you had back then as a child will just naturally come out, and you will do it. Yeah, I don't think it's the right way to just do in order to then, feel or be happy. There's this saying, people want, so they do in order to be happy.
Mhm.
But if you just are, you're being present, then at some point you will do, and you will have. So that's the better
Mhm.
way to do it, but not because your mind now tells you to, because then you would just start the wrong way again. If you're thinking, okay, I need to be,
Mhm.
therefore I'm going to do yoga, do meditation, I'm going to do in order to have. That's
Yeah.
the wrong way. So it's really meditation, but not in a way where you go into the mountains all by yourself. It's meditation is really just observing your own behavior, your own thoughts, because that's not who we are. So, and once you've done this a lot, you will be able to see that, oh, my mind is telling me this. You can see it like from an outside perspective. You're not believing the thought immediately. You just say, oh, my mind is going this way. Interesting, without doing anything about it. And then you can, at some moment, for some people it takes longer than others. For me, it took a while. Yeah, you can just be like kids, because when you see little kids, they're just sitting there, they're doing nothing and they're just looking around. And then all of a sudden you see them do something or grab something, do something with it. And then they have an experience, they have gained knowledge, they have done something. And that's the most beautiful thing for me to see, observe the little kids, but then also observe your own behavior so that you can go back there. And that's something, another thing that I would like to provide for people through a place to be, because it's not just, kids will learn in a great way, or, Bitcoin is involved. It's this whole package of fiat proving, of going back to who we really are, or who we were when we were born, without all this cluttering. And I've been thinking about it more lately, like things I'm going to be adding to a place to be, for example, to do with health. Like for me, the sun is super important and healthy. Nothing could live without the sun. Some people say the sun is damaging and it's not good and stay out of the sun. But you just look outside in nature, the animals lie in the sun. It just feels good to feel the sun on your skin if you don't overdo it. Then, because this is a very big topic and controversial, some families or parents are concerned about screen time, that the kids, if they're left to do whatever they want, they will just spend all day in front of the screens. And I've been thinking about it because I am a freedom maximalist, and I've been wanting to give this to my children as much as possible. But then I've noticed something just a couple of days ago. Like, we never buy Coca-Cola, for example. We buy it like maybe twice a year when we have a party at home or something. So as we never buy it, my children never hear me say, stop drinking Coke, or too much, or that's not good for you. Nothing. So once they don't live here anymore, I highly doubt they're going to go binge drinking Coca-Cola, because if you tell a child no, that's what they want even more. Whatever it is, don't touch that. Don't go there. Don't fall. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do this. So whatever you say, don't do this, they want to do it even more. If you say no screen time, they want more screen. If you say no more sweets, no more this. I have a friend, for example, in Germany. I grew up with her. And when I think we were like 17, she told me that her mother never bought them sweets, any kind of sweets. She said, it's not good for you. And then the moment they got pocket money, all they bought was just sweets. And she could see that as a 16, 17-year-old. So like, because my mom always said no, that's what we wanted. And I can see that with the screens. So my way of thinking was that if I don't have screens, like I don't let my children use my phone, for example. They ask me, can I have your phone? So, no, it's not for playing. It's just my thing to message or do phone calls. And I don't sit there watching, reels or being long time on Instagram or something. So Rob is different, and it's his decision. He gives them his phone sometimes to play something. But we have an iPad and we have a TV. It's not our TV. We didn't have one when we moved here. Like, this apartment came fully equipped. But at a place to be, we won't have a TV. I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to continue not to give my kids my phone. and the iPad is on its last legs. Like it keeps messing up, and I'm not going to buy a new one.
Yeah.
So I can see that once these are gone, there won't be any possibility for us to say no more screens or too much and blue light isn't good and that's just stupid what you're watching or something. Um, and then it will not create this need or want, this desire for this forbidden thing, screen. We will, we'll go to the movie sometimes. We'll have a projector where we can watch on a huge screen with a whole community or something.
Yeah.
And of course, there will be computers in some rooms where the kids can do research and editing and coding. But I'm not gonna have any games like drawing on the, like if the child wants to draw, then there's fucking pen and papers for that,
Yeah.
If they want to learn how to read, if they do it while playing, I don't know, let's say Minecraft, that's fine with me too. But that's something I've decided because it is important to spend more time like in the sunlight, the healthy sunlight, than the blue light that comes off screens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like there are things, and also the same with chocolate and sweets and Coca-Cola. Like I'm not going to be buying all of that. Then like that's what we do at home. I don't buy this stuff, so if we go out and they ask for ice cream, I can easily say yes, sure, no problem. Or if we go to a birthday
Yeah.
party, I don't have to tell them stop eating
Yeah, of course.
chocolate cake now.
Yeah.
Just like the less I have to say no and stop and don't and too much, the better. The better our
Yeah.
relationship, and the more natural it is for them not to do this or not create this craving for it.
Yes.
So that's something I've decided. What I've also noticed is if there's a kid with a screen, like a phone, a smartphone, and they sit in the park, all the others, it's like, moths around light. They come there and they watch together. So another thing I've decided for a place to be is that we won't have any like smartphones in the
Yeah, we
kids'
could, you
facility.
should have like walkie-talkies or something like that, that.
Exactly. Everybody's going to get a walkie-talkie. They
Yeah.
can roam around free. And even if there's a moment, there's a boy who only speaks Polish and there's a girl who only speaks Chinese,
Yeah.
they'll find a way to communicate.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
know,
Of course.
they it would make things easier if they had a phone and then they could translate, but they will find a way. So this is something, the less you give them,
The more
the more,
resourceful they will be. Yeah.
exactly, the more resourceful they will be. Yeah, so that's something I've decided, just to, reduce the blue light, have them be outside most of the time. Yeah, use technology and screens in a productive way, not in a way that gets you addicted to it, because that's what they were made for. They know exactly what they're doing when they get the kids in front of the screen. That's exactly why they put certain ingredients in some processed food, so you want more of it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not that the child will learn how to self-regulate by eating or consuming something
Yeah.
that is designed to make you addicted. And especially in their years when they're developing, I think it's important to, just have them, let them be as natural as possible with the food, with the time they spend outside, with the things they are interested in. Exactly. That was a very long talk, but something I had come up with because I was always very torn between this freedom and then the screens.
And
Exactly.
I think, in like if there's gonna be, a community of kids, I think the kids will start to, self-organize as well. And they
Mhm.
will say, hey, can we, watch something, so I'm sure, they'll find a way to
Yeah.
negotiate.
Yes. Yeah. There were times when I said just 1 hour screen time, just one
Yeah.
hour. And like the more rigid the rules, the worse it is.
Yeah.
Now we don't have like just 1 hour. We just say like, okay, time to go to bed. Or now we've been watching like 2.5 hours. Let's do something else. And there's usually not a problem because I didn't say now. I just, okay, 5 more minutes or something.
Yeah, you know, we're quite lucky with our kids because they don't watch TV too much. I mean, we've got something like 2 hours per week max.
Mm.
So, you know, I think it's fine. And they only watch like natural, you know, nature, David Attenborough kind of videos
Yeah.
from planet Earth. So, you know, they learn about nature and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they saw like some silly thing like Paw Patrol once or twice, and they're super addicted to that. Like they get addicted to it very quickly. So it's like, okay, that's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the reaction to that
Hmm.
is just disproportional to how interesting it might be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we prefer to actually, you know, let our kids watch, you know, turtles or dolphins or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and that's yeah, that's pretty much it. But I still think like okay, you know, in terms of giving kids the access to you know the online education, because they need to be able to find stuff they want. Like you know, a couple
Hmm.
of days ago, I was talking with Iggy, and just telling him about the sun eclipse and explaining him how it works and you know the mechanism of that. And I said like you know I really wanted to show him how it works, but we were in Scotland, so you know it was cloudy and it was kind of in the evening, so it just kind of got dark a little earlier than usual. So there was nothing to see. So I kind of you know went to you know I took my phone and I found some videos explaining that
Hmm.
thing. And I'm just wondering like what's the best method to be able to like spoon feed those kind of you know YouTube clips or you know or whatever explainers to
Yeah.
our kids, not to overwhelm them and not to do like to do it in the right pace, basically.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do
I
you have
think
any?
that YouTube is great for that. You can learn so much. There are so many videos. I suppose it depends on every child and every situation and how big the interest is. Either it's you who's wanting him to learn about it, and then there might not be even much interest from him, or if he's interested, then I would maybe, look for a couple of videos for kids, because I have that sometimes with Lima. She likes to watch a video to learn something.
Yeah,
But then she goes, oh no, this is boring, or I don't understand this. Like it can't be too, she's 7, if it's for like a 3-year-old, she's like, that's boring. And then if it's
yeah.
for
10-year-old is yeah,
she's like, I don't understand this. Like, I want another one and another one. And then at some point,
yeah.
I don't know if she's just wanting to watch and watch and or if she's really looking for the right video to learn.
They learn quick how to cheat the system, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what was something that I was going to say, that she then, because there were times when I said just 1 hour and put my foot down, and then she would come to me like the next day and said, Mommy, you know what? I said, what? I was sitting in the cupboard and watching on Daddy's phone.
oh
And
okay.
I was just, they find a way. And
Yeah,
I love that she tells me, and I was like, okay. I didn't say that's
yeah,
not
of
good
course, yeah,
or you found a way. No, I just said, okay. And inside of me, I chuckled,
yeah,
because
of course,
you
yeah,
could, you can make it hard for them like this, and they'll find a way, which I think it's
yeah.
great that they get very inventive. But yeah, back to your story, or your question. Yeah, it depends on the child really, and I haven't found a way. Like there isn't just one way. It's really from moment to moment.
And everybody's different as well, right?
Yes. And you see, like if it's Lima really being interested in something, I let her watch a few videos about it. I don't have a problem with it. But then when I notice it's really just, okay, she's starting to look at other things like cartoons on YouTube, then I say, okay, give me my phone. You've, had the videos that you were looking for. And yeah, it's not like that I test her afterwards and I ask her, what did you learn? So
Yeah,
what's the answer? It's really, it was her wanting to learn about something. If she learned it and what she learned, I don't know. I never test or see if she did it now to, a sneaky way to get to watch something. I don't care. But I do then put my boundary in. I need my phone now, and you're just going off topic.
yeah. No, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, it's you know it's exciting. I think the times we're living, and also like, you know, the amount of screen time, and the information we're getting from the screen, you know, all the social media noise, all the mainstream media propaganda, now, you know, AI fake news, whatever, you know, like I won't be surprised. You know, I'm seeing like Michael Saylor trying to give me free Bitcoin on YouTube all the time. So like, hey, really, you know, this is all, you know, generated by AI. And because of that, I think it's super important to teach our kids to be, you know, screen proof as well, to question things.
Yes, definitely.
And also it's kind of loops back to Bitcoin Walk, where, you know, we meet in person. So we have a chance to validate and to check the information we found somewhere. And I think, you know, that it is a great format that will thrive, actually, that, you know, in-person meetings and surrounding ourselves with people who are ideally more, you know, smarter than ourselves and that we can learn from, is very valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think everybody is intelligent in different ways. And, you know, there's
Absolutely.
something I can learn from one person, and that person can learn something else from me, and with every other person we need. Yeah, like keeping an open mind. That's a really good one.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jacob, thank you so much for your time and this lovely chat. I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too. That hour flew very quickly. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm really, really, really glad to be on the show. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. I
Yeah.
need to still reach out, you know, when I'm closer to the moving date. I'll be in frequent touch.
Yes. So I'm happy also that you guys are part of a place to be. And if anybody else is interested who's not reached out yet, please feel free to send an email to info@aplacetobe.me. You can find all the information on aplacetobe.me. And yeah, anything else, here we are at the Fiat-Proof Podcast. And speak to you guys soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Ciao. Thanks.